Committee, Roger Marshall. Senator Marshall, thank you so much for being with us. I know you have lots on your agenda, so we're happy that you're with us on American Agenda. Right out of the gate, want to get your thoughts on RFK Jr. regarding his cousin Caroline Kennedy coming out calling him unfit. That's part one, but also you are a physician, and so I'm curious what you will ask him, or you're curious to ask him about vaccines.
Yeah, so Bobby and I have spent a lot of time together. I've read several of his books. I've read everything that Bobby Kennedy has said or written, I think, in the past 2 or 3 years. What Bobby and I share is both a passion to make America healthy again. 60% of Americans have a chronic disease right now, and we want to address that. I think the vaccines, he and I don't agree on vaccines, but on some of them, but what we both agree upon is the sanctity of the patient and the physician relationship, that my daughter deserves to know everything there is about these vaccines, the pros and cons, the good and the bad with them. And I agree with him that maybe our kids don't need 60 different vaccinations, and maybe they don't need a hepatitis vaccination in day one. On the other hand, I've been a big supporter of polio vaccination to help raise money for Rotary. So again, Bobby and I don't agree on everything, but we both agree that America has a chronic disease problem, and we want to make America healthy again.
Senator, in your meetings with him, has he ever said anything to you along the narrative, I'm anti-vax, I don't want people to take these, I'm not going to give them a choice? Because I don't think he has said any of that. He's been clear. He just wants people to know.
Yeah, nothing could be further from the truth than that. I think that I'll let Bobby speak for himself. He'll get asked this 10 times tomorrow, but he's going to say is he wants that family, that mom and dad to be armed with all the information. It needs to be non-biased information. They need to understand the pros and the cons and the risks and benefits. We all saw that this COVID vaccine, and we knew it. We knew the COVID vaccine had lots of complications from it. We saw it out of the early Israeli data for young, healthy men especially. So we Americans were lied to it. Parents are on to this. Bobby wants to make sure that parents have all the information that they can to make that decision themselves.
I think it's a great point. I mean, Bobby, as you call him, I call him Mr. Kennedy. He has been on American Agenda before, and I asked him that as well. And he's like, I'm not going to try to tell anyone not to get a polio vaccine for their kids. He's like, that's not what I want to do. It's about transparency, Senator, as you pointed out. And so that is not a new talking point for him. That seems to be very much what he believes. I do want to ask you, while we have you, about Tulsi Gabbard. We know, obviously, a former Democrat turned Republican. How do you think it's going to go for her? We're hearing there might not be enough votes.
Well, we'll see. I think the thing about Tulsi is she's a disruptor, and that scares people up here. They're used to these insiders, these people that are part of the swamp, and that's not who Tulsi is. This is a career military officer. She certainly understands the importance of intelligence. I think what Tulsi's going to bring to the table is she errs on the side of transparency. She's going to err on the side that she believes that Americans can take the truth, and I think you're going to see that. We're seeing John Ratcliffe already coming out, letting more information loose. I think Tulsi's going to err on that side as well, and that scares the swamp up here. So we'll see. I'm optimistic. I do think that she's going to have a little bit of a challenge, but I'm optimistic.
All right. Optimism is a good thing, as is transparency. And Senator Roger Marshall, that seems to be the operative word with these nominees. We appreciate your joining us and hope to see you back on the show again soon. Thanks.